Yo, what up, folks? Welcome to the Ranking Heroes. I'm Nebojša, your host, and today we have Mihailo Miljkovic, a brilliant young mind behind all the SEO strategies. So, first of all, welcome, Mihailo. It's so nice to have you here. So, to
Thank
kick
you.
off
Thank you,
this
Nabisha, for
properly,
having me.
I wanted to you can make an introduction. You can share your journey, what led you into the field of SEO, and what inspired you to specialize in this area.
Got it. First of all, thanks for having me. I'm so glad that I can be a part of your journey and to start like podcasting and all of that. So it's a great to be here. So my name is Mihailo, as Nabisha mentioned, and people also call me Michael because that's like the American version of my name. So if somebody like needs to like American pronunciation, that's how it can be. And I've been in this industry for approximately like 5, 6 years, and it's been a crazy ride so far because as far as I can remember, I knew that I wanted to become entrepreneur. I wanted to kind of made a positive impact to the world in some sense. So I saw entrepreneurship to be part of that. And when I was young, during high school, I made a lot of good decisions to be part of certain activities, certain organizations, certain non-government institutions, and there to learn initially about digital marketing and about digital business as a model, like overall. And back then, I literally got enrolled into one academy that was mainly focused on digital marketing education and in a formal way, not just in a like course level, but more like with a mentor, with all of that. So that I can say that that led me into the like overall journey. After that, like I applied to the multiple internships, got first job, etc., etc. And then I met my mentor like approximately 5 years ago when it comes to SEO. And now I can say that the single most impactful thing regarding my career is that I had a structured approach at the beginning. When it comes to learning, when it comes to overall way how I should approach things, how I should think, which approach should I take, etc. So that's basically the main reason why I'm here and why I will make results hopefully in the future. And after that, I was so immersed into the world of SEO, into the world of like how can I optimize the website, how I can make certain changes on the website, how that can be have impact on the rankings, on the results, etc., etc. And of course, as everyone, I started with small local websites, like some local stores, etc. And then I started my first, like my own project because I was part of one English, let's say English program, because I wanted to improve my English vocabulary, English speaking skills, etc., to speak more like a native speaker. And then I was so shocked how good that program was. And after like a couple of months of being in that program, I received an email from their company that they have actually an affiliate program. And then I connected the dots and I thought, okay, let me promote this program in Serbia. And with that, I can also practice the SEO, everything that I learned about digital marketing, etc. And that's where One Pro came into existence. One Pro was my first business venture. One Pro was a website where we promoted like English programs, English courses that were focused purely on the conversation. And I got ranked that website in Serbia like number one or for like really important keyword terms. And what is the
What
most
was it
important
easy
thing
to
is
rank
that
it in Serbia?
yes and no, but because like in Serbia compared to the United States or other competitive markets, if you do everything properly in terms of structure, in terms of how your website look, in terms of how on-page elements are distributed and optimized, you will sure have success. Like you don't need
Oh.
a solid off-page infrastructure or investments, etc. So that was I can say not a luck factor, but that was a good thing initially. Anyways, with that, with my, I can say, with my ability to connect the dots and to be proactive, I got in contact with the CEO of that company from America, like which programs I promoted, and they invited me to be their SEO manager, SEO and content manager, and that's how I got like how I landed my first official job in a startup world when I was 17 years old. So that is probably the kind of the biggest life-changing moment in my life, because when you have that opportunity in that young age, the whole world is yours. I mean, you think the whole world is yours,
Yeah.
and after that, really, it's all about like my persistence and my uh, like me wanting to be excellent in what I do. So that was my primarily kind of motivations, and that's where I firstly got introduced to the like corporate SEO, to the how companies actually care about SEO or don't care, how they execute that, how are they organized or not organized, etc. And also I was able to witness other team works. From PPC side, from the social media side, and I saw how that everything is merged together in like cohesive marketing strategy. So when you
Wow,
work
man.
hard, like you get lucky. so so I got that
Yeah.
opportunity, and then based on that opportunity, and based on that kind of my first official employment there, I was able to make my CV look better and my resume like more professional. And I took a leap of faith, and I like went to LinkedIn in like when I was 18, 19, and literally started applying for the SEO jobs, because I knew that like I have a desire. I have no, it was really funny because I knew that I can do it, but I just didn't know how, like exactly, like which dots where, etc. And I
Yeah.
knew that I needed some type of organization that will
Yeah.
help me grow. And luckily, I got landed a job in one of the biggest digital agencies in the United States at that young age. And that was the second thing that changed my life, because then like I was able to absorb knowledge like sponge, to adopt really fast, and I got all the energy that you can imagine because I was young and like I was passionate. So
Yeah.
that was basically my story
Whoa, man.
that got me in the SEO world.
That's impressive, man. I mean, these two milestones basically changed your future. I mean, that's amazing. Like, congratulations on everything you did and everything about. I mean, the whole experience is very motivating, and I think that all the young people should listen to your advice and do the same. For example, what you just said, like you need to do some free work and you will get lucky. If you do
Exactly.
nothing, you won't be lucky. I mean, you need to push, you need to make changes in order to success. I mean, that's the life in the end. So yeah, regarding the entrepreneurship that you mentioned, I forgot to mention one important thing, that you started an agency, Alvion.io. So, what motivated you to start Albion, and what sets your company apart from other SEO agencies?
Yeah. So I think that the story behind Elvion as a kind of natural next step after my kind of jobs
Second
within
milestone.
yeah, within like yeah,
Yeah,
after the second milestone, because
yeah.
when I got that job, I knew that I needed to take 200% of myself in order to adapt that quickly to the such a professional environment, because my role was like I wasn't let's say like that. I wasn't um, I won't say prepared, but I wasn't qualified enough on paper to do the job. But I I got lucky that a few important people believed in me back then. And that single thing, that somebody gave me a chance, and somebody that believed in me and knew that I can make great things just if I got the chance, that was my main motivator. Because when I came into the company, I was literally like the most productive employee, the best employee in terms of client success, in terms of like kind of internal
Yeah.
procedures, etc., etc. Because I knew that I need to take 200% of myself in order to adapt to their like standard operations. And during that period of 2.5 years, I didn't stop growing in terms of consulting skills, in terms of knowledge, in terms of like overall broad uh, client relationship management and all of that. And at one point, I realized that now I'm capped and that I need to take another step to further develop myself and to take risk and to start something that I'm not qualified for, but that I have faith and purpose to do. And that's where
Yeah.
Albion, yeah, that's where Albion came into existence, literally to bridge the gap where I see like a huge gap in the market on how other SEO agencies and how other agencies treat the clients and how like which approach they take, and especially in terms of SEO, which we'll cover later in the podcast for sure. But that was my main motivator for Albion, and I cannot wait to build that and to really make something that everyone that's involved in Albion is proud of, and to make great things. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
important thing.
and like if you didn't have people who believe in you, and you would be still, hitting that wall in that company, and you would feel like you are not free, completely free to do whatever you want to do and help other. Would you still make that step, like with knowing all the risks but not having people who believe you? Would you do it?
Yes and no. If you because currently nowadays there are a lot of advices that are like start your business as soon as possible,
Yeah.
be your own boss like from the day one. And honestly, I don't think that's a good idea, especially for someone young and passionate and with a great ambition. I think that the single best thing for a young person that has ambition and that want to succeed is to join a great company. That's it. And with a
Yeah.
proper environment, with the proper challenges, and with the proper guidance in terms of learning, in terms of knowledge, in terms of mentorship, like only then you will be prepared. Although you are never prepared, like of
Yeah,
course,
but we must
but
agree
you need
that not like everyone is able to run their own business. There are people who just don't have that in their self, so like we must agree on
exactly.
that.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like entrepreneurship is something better than employmentship or something like that,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, great people make great things and great teams make great things. So what I mean by that is that if you join a great team, it's not that
Yeah.
important like which role you have, which responsibility you have, if you do something that you are proud of and that you are making something really great. I mean, really great.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like someone feels like within themselves like that they can and should do it for
Yeah.
multiple reasons, and I think they should follow that, but just like be
Yeah.
patient and yeah, and be because that's the thing when you build a company, like everything is stacked against you, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have
That there is the pressure like that. Like,
No, I mean, yeah, pressure for core, of course,
yeah,
but
yeah,
the time you need to build reputation, to build customer base, to
yeah,
build a solid
exactly.
product market fit,
Yeah,
to be in a position to work with great clients, great projects, that takes time. And if you're
yeah,
young and not young, but if you're just starting out and without any experience before, or without any network that can refer you, then you will end up working with some
yeah,
like lower type of clients, and that will drain you. Like especially like we are talking about the agency side of businesses.
yeah,
So yeah, I as I
yeah,
said, my advice definitely is join a great company because
yeah,
like I wouldn't talk like I knew you also like you were the best employee out there. I was the best
yeah.
employee out there because it's not about what do you do, it's like how do you do it,
Exactly,
like
man.
how excellent do you want to be, and
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, like 100% agree with you, Michael, on this. Because, like, at the end, what makes one company successful is the team inside that company. So no one
Exactly.
should like make difference between employees and business owners, especially because business owners are the greatest employees of that company at the end.
Exactly.
So another thing, yeah. So I know that Albion, you guys are helping. B2B brands like e-commerce and also enterprise businesses scale. So, like, what are some of the most common challenges that e-commerce and enterprise websites face regarding SEO?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the single most important problem that all big companies face is that they think of SEO as a function and not as an outcome. What I mean by that is that they treat SEO like development side of company, like design side of company, like finance side of company, and they try to approach it like okay, like with other companies, what's the hourly rate, what will you do,
Yeah.
etc. And then that creates a negative consequences because then other side agencies are forced to report what they did, how many hours they spent on certain project, etc. And none of that matters because, as I said, SEO is an outcome. SEO is an actual result that you have as a consequence of certain inputs. And when you like, that's the first thing that's the first problem that many companies face, and that many companies don't think in that way. Then the second thing is that, of course, like that will sound this will sound like a cliche, but companies are really not well educated about this topic, and that's why I see such a great potential because I had the privilege to work with some of the like the world's biggest brands in like various of industries, and that moment where you present the client the potential that they can acquire through search engines or any other medium for demand to be expressed, that's amazing. And that's why I definitely think that it's not about companies, like it's about us, I meaning me as an agency owner, me as an like company, how well I educate the market, how well I put that message right in front of their face so they can understand. Because at the end of the day, one of the main missions of Allion and our company is to really help companies convert more demand into revenue. And what that means is that currently search engines are the main mediums through which users express the demand for information, demand for products, demand for services, etc. And when you have that currently in the market, then you need to understand that you can calculate that demand. We call it search volume, but it's not search volume. It's like what's the quantitative number of demand. It's not like search volume,
Yeah.
because like companies don't talk in the terms of search volume, domain rating, and like
Yeah.
none of that matters to them. What
Yeah.
matters to them is like to understand what's the total addressable market? How much share do we have as a company? Like, what's our market share in that total addressable market? And then third thing, how we can increase that market share, and as a direct consequence of that, how we can increase the revenue. So with this kind of frameworks and with this approaches, then everything regarding SEO becomes more strategic. Everything become because I feel that made a lot of companies approach us like a tactic, like they need to something to do on their blog, landing page, or like
Yeah,
collection
yeah.
page. But that's not the case when you have e-commerce or enterprise type of websites, because you need actual strategy, like a guiding
Exactly.
principle that will lead all of the resources. Then the
Yeah.
third thing, let's say the biggest problem that companies are facing, especially big ones, is the lack of proper resource management. What I mean by
Okay.
that is that all those big companies have their own dedicated writers, have their own dedicated web resources, design resources. However, what they lack is like the proper organization of those resources for the bigger outcome. So that's why we put extreme importance on helping companies organize what they already have and to put that into action, to put that into something that will create incremental results. Because everything that we do on the website side has a potential to compound over time. So, like basically,
Yeah.
I treat it, especially for e-commerce clients and also for enterprise clients that have the right measurement systems. Like we are building you assets that will generate you more over time, users, conversions, revenue, and all those metrics that matter the most. And last but not least, what I would highlight and what I will communicate over LinkedIn and YouTube is the lack of effective communication between the agencies and companies. Because you, as an agency owner, or you as a SEO consultant or as an SEO specialist, it's your responsibility to make client believe in SEO. What I mean
Yeah.
by that, it's your responsibility to show them what is the quantitative potential that they can acquire within the certain time frame. It's your responsibility to show them what are the concrete actions that will lead to that specific result, and it's your responsibility to put that into meaningful costs so that other companies can hire your company and to invest in you to actually helping them achieve those goals. And this brings me to the like really important point for Albion as a business and how our offerings is not different, but is like let's say unique in some way. Uh, is that what I like previously explained? All of that is hard to do when you don't have exact data. So what I mean by that is it's really hard for like let's say you are facing a solid big e-commerce project.
Okay.
You know there is a potential, you know everything, but you need somehow to convince the business owner or the chief marketing officer or whoever you are in contact with to invest significant resources into SEO. So if
Yeah,
you don't
that can be
have
hard.
yeah, I mean that can be hard in terms of like when you don't have previous data on that account, on
Exactly.
that specific case, because otherwise you're relying on third-party metrics, you're relying on like
Yeah.
already existing data that's probably not serving you in terms of proving your concept, and that's
You
why
cannot
I
guarantee
think
anything. Yeah.
exactly, and that's why I think that the best approach for this is something that we call like pilot projects or something, certain activity that can be condensed into like short time frame,
Okay.
in our case 90 days, And
Okay.
within those 90 days, what we do is we execute the biggest leverage points for that specific company to achieve the first significant results as soon as possible so
Mm-hmm.
that they can see on a small sample how impactful certain
Yeah.
activities are on the company's revenue, users,
Yeah.
acquisition, like anything. And after 90 days or like 120 days, depending on the project size,
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
then talk with client showing the concrete data from that project. Look,
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
implemented this. These are the results. And our recommendation is for you to continue at this scale to put inputs within the company. And as a result of that, you will achieve, let's say, 20x of what you achieved just with these resources. And when we
Oh.
put in that order and in that framework, I think that more companies will listen to us, more companies will trust us, and more companies will feel that we are here to be their strategic partner, not not a agency that wants a retainer, basically.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the business pressure, because I speak with a lot of CMOs, a lot of CEOs, with a lot of website managers, and they are bombarded with agency requests and with all of that. But I think that people feel when you work on something because you believe in it, because you see a greater purpose in it, because you want to help actually, and at the end of the day, that will be the main deciding factor why companies choose us over other agencies, especially now at the beginning of Albion as a company, because
Yeah.
everything goes through us. Like the connection between us and clients are so personal, and like we get to know each other better, so that we can really help them accelerate their demand capturing results.
Yeah, man. I mean, thanks for all the information, and I really like the 90 days SEO growth strategy because yeah, it kind of builds trusts, and when you have all the data, then you can make some predictions, projections, show them to the client, and then make them realize what is the output based on the input that you guys did for them. So like it seems like that you guys are not struggling with any challenges because everything is too easy for you. I know that's not true, that you're facing challenges daily. So like I wanted to ask you, I know that there are some NDAs and everything, but like are you able to share us some story or a case study of one client you helped detailing some challenges they faced and the solutions that you guys implemented?
Yeah, sure.
You don't
Um,
have to mention the client's name if you have an
yeah, yeah,
NDA
that's
signed. You
fine.
can
I
just
mean, yeah, that's
yeah.
fine. That's fine. I
Okay.
mean, the biggest clients that I get to know, that I get to lead, etc., ended
Okay.
up, unfortunately, due to objective reasons that are business-wide, company-wide, not like marketing-wide.
Okay.
Like I like to mention that like two biggest clients that I worked with and that I was leading the strategy was bodybuilding.com and International Monetary Fund. Like both of those
Nice,
organizations,
man. Big
like
names.
really big organizations, and I was so glad that I got like that opportunity to present all of that, because as I said, I got to know the how companies and organizations on that level operate, what they want to know, what they care about, what's their management style, etc. And then probably the biggest case study, the biggest project impact that we had was on one outdoors e-commerce enterprise store, and the moment when I came into the contact with that account, with that project, I was so shocked how how small percentage of their of their accomplished potential was. And again, when I see that gap between when a company is and where they can be,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what's the biggest motivator for you, and that what gives you like a passion to help them bridge that gap and to actually like bring that into existence, like to actually help them grow. Anyways,
Oh
so
man.
the case there was that that company has more than 50,000 SQAs, 50,000 products, and you can just imagine how many collection pages, how many category pages, how many menu navigation complexity, how many website visitors, etc. And the main thing that was done there, it can be broke down into three main verticals, three main pillars. So the first thing, of course, is the technical foundation, and like we know that like the bigger the website is, the more technical side of the website is important to the SEO
Yeah.
results, and vice versa. Like smaller websites, they cannot pull any leverage based on the technical side
Yeah.
of the website. So to be precise, like that website got migrated from Magento to custom built powered web app, or progressive web app, custom built JavaScript website. So you imagine how how challenging that was, seeing a
Yeah.
website like of that side being migrated from one
Yeah.
platform to another custom built. So that case, like that was the biggest challenge for me so far in the career, to being able to witness that migration process. And of course, like that was followed by URL rewriting and URL redirects on a scale of thousands and thousands of URLs. So that was like probably the most like most challenging and most scariest migration that I have
Yeah.
ever witnessed. Fortunately, everything regarding that went fine and went good. In so like that was like again the smoothest migration that we witnessed.
I
And
don't want to
then
even ask how their developers felt like.
like no, it was a mess, but luckily
Yeah.
everything was fine after that. So
Yeah.
then, like the first problem that we faced is how Google rendered their pages, how Google wasn't able to properly render JavaScript directories and all of the resources that they
Yeah.
were using to create pages and to actually like display pages on the users' browsers. And
Yeah, I know
also
about
they
that
are
issue.
100% client-side rendering website. So
Oh
you
man, yeah.
imagine
Uh,
so you imagine
they had a
like you
lot of
see.
problem with indexation, I believe.
Yeah, so you see how, yeah, you
Yeah.
see how challenging that was.
Yeah.
Luckily, with the proper audit and with the proper technical support from the SEO side, we were able to cover all of those like most impactful issues from when it comes to technical foundations of the website. And as a result of that, we got a solid increase in the index rate in the number of pages within our index. So that was done pretty nice. Then the second thing, the second vertical, which I think is the most important, because I talk about technical stuff only in a way how they are connected to the results and revenue that they need to produce. I'm not overly focused on that when I talk with client or about like business,
Okay.
because of course like we have the top-notch technical team that will debug every single page, every single code, everything, but that's not important for kind of business discussion that we have. Anyways, so I will now say something. Creating pages based on your existing stock to cover untapped market demand in a way that users search for your products, but you are not currently displayed them on the website so they can be found. So that sentence alone brings that client more than $1 million in incremental revenue annually. And what I mean by that is that every client, every big e-commerce website has a certain categorization, certain like collections. And the bigger the organization, the more formal that organization is in terms of who manages that. Like they're like merchant people that they are literally responsibilities how they will categorize products. But anyways, like those big websites, they lack the more granular and more detailed categorization so that they can capture the untapped market demand. So what I mean by
Yeah.
that is that let's say they sell they sell desks.
Okay.
So they have a collection page where they sell desks, but desks, and it turns out like they have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of desks in different variations. But with that single page, with that single website asset, they can cover a limited market segment, which is desks, desk online, etc.
Yeah.
But when you look at their facet navigation, their filters, their product variants, you can see that product can be described from the attributes like color, size, material, use, I don't know, the
Type of
like
desk, for example.
type
Yeah.
of desk, like anything that you can think of. And when you actually go in that granular approach and when you search for all of the ways how the certain product, in this case like desk, can be expressed, you can clearly see that they covered like a fraction of market segment and market demand. And with the already existing stock, with what they already have, they can produce more website assets which will attack different market segments. And with that approach, which is really simple and really straightforward, but yet many companies are not aware of that, we were able to create, I truly call them revenue generating assets, because when you deploy, let's say 500 categories, when you deploy 1,000 new pages, you will see incrementally how those pages get indexed, get ranked, get first users, get first conversions. And then once we track the first conversion, we then track conversions and revenue week over week. So we hold that process accountable from the day one, and we are tracking that from the day one. Like what's the nature of growth for these pages? And when you deploy that, and when you witness that, you will see how those pages 6 months later generate 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month. But again, that's only desks, for example, what I
Yeah. I
explained.
mean,
What about other products? What about
but yeah,
other
it's a good
segments?
explanation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and with that approach, we were able to incrementally increase this e-commerce store like organic revenue by more than $1 million in a year. And
Wow, man.
also, that's like
Amazing.
just one segment and one pillar. The second and third pillar is connected to this, because what I explained is just everything is so manual and everything is so uh, like manual and not, I won't say outdated, but manual. There are
Yeah.
a couple of ways what we are working also with enterprise clients is how their faceted navigation look like, what's their function, how can we leverage that to produce meaningful, indexable, crawlable URLs for Google to rank for certain variations, because that's like automated version of what I just previously explained. And then the second thing something that we are working on as a company within our R&D department, is we are looking for a ways to connect Google Search Console API, to connect Google SERPs API, to connect multiple data sources, and to build a process which is automated and done by software, by a computer, to predictably find more demand segments that aren't covered yet with the older existing stock. And so far, like we are still in the development phase, so we are testing that with the clients. But all of that gives you such a great approach and such a great ability to make sure that when the client comes in, they understand how much potential they have and how fast you can deploy those solutions to the website, so you make sure that they are starting acquiring new users and conversions right away. And the third thing, what will be the future of SEO and the future of search engine landscape is the marketing on the product level. What I mean by that is we will speak about this later, but Albion as a company did one of the most comprehensive research studies on the search generative experience, now called AI overviews.
Yeah, I saw that your LinkedIn post exploded with like 300 plus comments, and I'm
yes.
yeah, man, it's such a great case study. Everyone should look at your YouTube video, read your research at your website's blog. Great job, man.
Yeah, thank you. We will talk about that later, but anyways, like we analyzed more than 28,000 e-commerce transactional keywords. And when you see the type of e-commerce AI overview layout, you will understand that Google is becoming more like a marketplace rather than search engine. What I mean by that is that Google will become the next Amazon. If you search from United States, if you search from United States, and if you search for any e-commerce related keyword, you will see how many product grids are there where Google directly pulls data from their shopping graph and directly show you products, and everything is happening within their ecosystem. When you click on the product, you will see all of the reviews, all of the images, all of the like everything, and then just one click to the vendor's website in form of the product link. And all of that is done through Merchant Center and through, of course, schema markup and semantic understanding of the products and the product data. But what I mean by that is that our research clearly suggests that for more than 80% of e-commerce queries that were eligible for AI overviews, 80 more percent of them generated product grids, like product layouts. And what I mean by that is that Google will now, and AI overviews and search generative experience is the future of search, despite challenges that they are facing right now, because because their functionality, what you can do as a user, it's like really great. And I think that definitely that will be leveraged by Google in like soon. When you see that in that case, like Google really doesn't care about collection pages, category pages anymore. I mean, I'm not saying right now, but in the future, how the process goes, because our research clearly shows that approximately 79% of links that we found within the AI overviews don't rank within the search engine result page, like the normal SERP. And we cannot take that for granted. We cannot just say, okay, 79% didn't rank. We want to understand why is that the case. Because now Google within the AI overviews rank listicle and review type of articles because they use those articles and those review type of articles and listicles for
Yeah.
the product suggestions. And if you open kind of the product tab within the AI overview, and when you want to see from where Google pulled the information to show that product, you will see that certain articles impacted certain product listing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean for the product level marketing, especially for the e-commerce section and vertical, and definitely, especially for the broader categories when you search
Yeah,
like shoes,
what I
personal
also
paint.
noticed, sorry for interrupting you, but like what you just said, I've noticed that it's the same thing for some of the services. For example, someone is searching for a web design agency. There are listicles that are mentioning different web design agencies, but also these agencies are getting that value and ranking better on Google search when people are searching for their specific services. So it's same for
Exactly.
e-commerce. So that's
Exactly,
connected.
exactly. And it's also the same. It's also the same for the software industry, software
Yeah, yeah,
vertical.
yeah.
You search for project management software, if you search for SEO tracking software, whatever
Yeah,
software
yeah,
related
yeah.
keyword, you will see that listicle type of articles rank higher than any landing page, anything.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
users and Google, like they trust more those listicles than
Exactly.
like
Yeah,
one
they are
single
not looking
page.
them promotional rather than educational, so they give value to those articles.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, I mean, very interesting, man. Like too many valuable insights. Thank you for that. I mean, I'm also learning a lot from you. So just keep it going. What I wanted to ask you, like, I can see that you're revenue oriented. Like that's important for all the companies. They want to drive more sales, get more revenue from the services they are paying for at the end. But like what else, like what metrics and KPIs do you use to measure the success of an SEO campaign? Let's say it like that.
Right. So the main reason why we are focused on revenue and business metrics is that that's the main way how we can connect our inputs and everything that we do on the client's company, website, etc., with the final results. And as a part and as a consequence of that, we are able to propose bigger budgets, bigger strategy initiatives, and overall the level of communication and level of respect between you as a company and other company increases. At the end of the day, if SEO is not properly executed with the proper resources, then it's a waste of time, resources, and money. And the only way how we can be sure that we got the proper buy-in from the other company, from their executives, is that when we tie everything that we do with what they care about. Because at the end of the day, we are helping CMOs, web managers, we are helping, at the end of the day, and CEOs
Yeah.
to report to their bosses what they actually improved on the website, what which
Yeah.
results they created, etc. And that's why I saw like when you bring that to the table, everything becomes more serious.
Yeah,
Everyone is
exactly.
more accountable. And when you don't talk about something that companies really don't care about,
Yeah.
such as like SEO metrics and everything that from the technical
Yeah.
side is important for us, but for them not, then you
Yeah.
will be in trouble because companies won't see SEO as an investment; they will see it as a cost, and that's a problem. Like you cannot
Yeah.
operate well in that case.
Yeah,
So
100% right, man.
yeah, so that's why we are focused on the revenue and business metrics. However, I need to mention that attribution becomes more and more and more challenging over time. And that's why SEO companies, marketing companies need to be the specialists in marketing attribution and the marketing strategy and in the consulting before they specialize into certain field, into certain like segment of all those
Yeah.
services. Because if you are not, if you don't control the attribution and if you don't understand the mechanism behind analytics, behind everything that's reported back as a result, then also you will have problems when you need to justify the
Yeah.
cost of your strategy, the cost of your campaign. So that's why I think that that bringing revenue to the table and bringing all of those business metrics into discussion creates like it's not comfortable and it requires a huge responsibility, but I think it's the main way how SEO can be meaningful and how SEO can actually be can create a business case, not just like we are doing SEO, no, but we are
Yeah.
acquiring new customers with that as a channel. So that's the main reason why we are so focused on that. Of course, we have secondary, tertiary metrics
Yeah.
because we understand that revenue or conversion is just the last step within the hierarchy of things that need to happen. So what I mean by that is you cannot have a revenue if your page is not indexed or if your page is not crawled,
Yeah.
or if your page doesn't rank for keywords, or if your page doesn't have impressions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I mean by that is that we broke down the whole process into like tangible steps where we track is page indexed? Yes. Or first of all, is page crawled? Yes. Is if page is indexed? Yes. If page is ranked? Yes. Does page have more impressions week over week, month over month? Yes. All those are steps before actual conversion happens. And that's why we can more reliably control the output because we know everything that needs to happen before that final output, because the output is only the like consequence of all of these steps. And that's why our culture as a company is that we need to be excellent at every stage, from technical side, reporting side, keyword side, on page side,
Yeah,
off
man.
page side, in order to actually create meaningful results. So as I said, all of that requires huge responsibility and huge involvement in it, but it's the probably the best way how you can generate meaningful results.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm impressed. Like, hats off, man. Like, I love the mindset. Like from the very beginning. Like when you said, when I get a client, I do the analysis, and when I see that they are there now with their current, potential and the market demand, and now I can see they can be there, and I got the goosebumps, man, because I can see like how that like drives you. That's your motivator. Like that's driving
Right.
you to go and work, and to do amazing things and help other businesses. That's amazing, and that's why you and your company will be always successful, and that you look at the other companies like, hey, that's not just my client, that's my entire team that I need to work with, like CMO, CEO, website managers. They need my help, they're my team. That mindset is like a gold, man. So just keep doing that. Like never,
Thank
never
you.
change
Thank
your
you.
mindset. I think
Yeah,
that
thank you. I
in
mean,
like real life, you're the same. Like in the real life, not only in the business, because like business is kind of a reflection of us in real life. So I can see that like they're very connected, and that's why I think you're a great
of
person
course.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
for sure. That's like that's non-negotiable, and I don't think we question that. However, your mindset, your business approach is tested on the market, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like
Yeah,
it
exactly,
works.
man.
Yes, it doesn't. You need to change it, and that's what. That's
Exactly,
why,
man. Exactly.
like everything that I explained is and of course will be developed over time. Like we
I
are
know.
just like a new company, startup company with a great vision, with a great mission, and all of that. But everything that I explained is a consequence of me listening to actual conversations with great companies, with big decision makers, with C-suite level of executives, and they talk in this language. And that's why if I want to get them to be my client and to work
Yeah.
with me, I need to speak in their language.
Their language,
So
yeah,
that's the
exactly.
yeah that's the thing.
You need to fit into their shoes, you know.
Ex-
So
Exactly.
that's it. So let's get back to the 90 days strategy that you guys are doing. So my question here is, once that's done, you show the results, client likes it. What are the next steps? Like, do you define a 6 month strategy, a year strategy? What do you do after that? Like, do you have any agreements that your clients needs to sign in order to proceed further? Like,
Right.
how do you operate? What are the next steps?
So everything that we do uh, before that, I mean within the first 90 days, etc., that's not strategy. That's execution, and that's like fast, getting the results fast, like
Like
meaningful,
initial
tangible results.
setup, quick results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel that in the industry, the term strategy is used a lot of times without any context, and that we are get used to use the word strategy in a way that's not appropriate. Because from the business perspective, like core economic business perspective, the word strategy requires much more things than just like this is the list of tasks that we need to execute. What I mean by that is that for strategy requires, let's say, a guiding principle, a north star that needs to be achieved, and that can be expressed with some visionary, bold claims like this company, like company X, or not X, like X exists, like X is Twitter now.
Yeah.
Okay, no,
No,
uh,
like yeah.
company Y,
X is
like
a
okay, company
placeholder
Y.
in your sentence. Yeah.
Okay, okay, company
Don't get
is
Elon mad.
yeah. So company X uh, as let's say that they are selling shoes. They are selling like specific shoes from one specific material, and let's say that their business category is called leather shoes, for example. The main visionary North Star is company X will become the best website, the leading website in the category of leather shoes. And when you say that to executives, when you say that to people, that's such a powerful like assemble of different words and different kind of
Yeah.
things, and it's again, it needs to be grounded in reality. So it cannot be just like visionary and just kind of we will be the best of the best of the best. And it also needs to have details. So I didn't say we will be the best website in shoes category. No, we will be the like what users would think the best website in that specific category. And when you have that strategy, when you have that principle that guides the overall strategy, then everything needs to be aligned with that. What I mean by that is not like there is no SEO strategy expect if it's connected to the broader business strategy, if it's connected to something broader that executives and higher management think and care about. Because otherwise, and that's the problem, otherwise you will get stuck and nothing will be implemented and you will have no results. And that's the pattern of a pattern for big enterprise websites and big e-commerce websites. So let's say
And
you
like,
have that
what
guiding
advice would you
principle.
give them? Just Like if
Yeah,
they
so
just start
that's
investing
that's
today.
like
Yeah.
when we finish the 90 days process, when we finish all of that, and when we get the
Mm-hmm.
first results, then we start with guiding principles and with
Mm-hmm.
coherent actions and coherent strategy that will follow that. So
Mm-hmm.
they understand that if you want to become the best, you will need this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we break that down, we have different initiatives. So let's say we need to build out a whole new category on the website. We need to publish more than 200 pages. We need to improve how our pages look. So we need resources there. When you have those initiatives, the third
Mm-hmm.
part is to connect those initiatives with a potential. So
Mm-hmm.
how that will sound. That will sound like, okay, this potential is worth 1.5 million users a year, which will be
Mm-hmm.
converted into $4 million incrementally year over year.
Mm-hmm.
For that to be achieved, we need three full-time designers, two full-time web developers, and we need $100,000 in terms of resources for the content production.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you see how when you structured like that, and when you are accountable for the, it's not a claim, it's like a vision, like it's a strategy, like what you want to achieve, then everything made sense because everything is connected, like the dots are connected. And then everyone is working towards achieving that. And then the whole engine of content writers, PR team, link building team, technical
Mm-hmm.
team, this team, everyone is aligned and everyone is working towards the same end. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
product team will have one direction, other team has another direction. That creates a
Mm-hmm.
huge friction, and you won't achieve anything
Mm-hmm.
otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So, like this is the sneak peek. I try to explain it in a kind
Yeah.
of in a simple terms, but it's indeed a complex thing, and it's indeed something that you really need to be skilled at in terms of consulting skills. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
when you want to reach that level in the SEO world and to make such a big impact on companies' results,
Mm-hmm.
man, you have to be the best of best consultants out there. Your soft skills and your ability to structure everything needs to be at the highest level. And then after you, like, that's my goal, like to really be at the level where I work within like, and I operate within those soft skills part where CEOs, CMOs understand. And then we
Mm-hmm.
work internally with a team where we are experts, we are technical people, we
Mm-hmm.
work on this, and we are nerds there, but not to the client.
Mm-hmm.
Because clients, like, they don't care about how much do you know. Like, they don't care.
Yeah.
And when you understand that and when you feel that you don't need to prove yourself that you know something, that
Yeah.
like the whole world unlocks for you. And again, when you put the framework like this, and depending on the case like that will be changed,
Mm-hmm.
etc., then we actually get to execute that. We have guiding
Mm-hmm.
principle, we have that, let's execute that week over week, month over month. These are our plans, and then we report how much did we move towards that goal. So
Mm-hmm.
everything is like so much easier when the hard part is done right, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise you will revise your plan every 2 months. And you
Mm-hmm.
know that
Mm-hmm.
pain when you work with a big client, and then every 2 months, something needs to change, something needs to
Mm-hmm.
be adjusted, something
Mm-hmm.
needs to be allocated towards something else. So
Yeah.
it's a really
So you need to be
like
proactive.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen your research. I've looked at your videos, and like I know that you're following all the trends, algorithms, and everything. But like, are there any secrets on how do you stay ahead of changes in search engine algorithms and ensure your clients do too?
That's a good question. So you need to treat Google like, let's say on a company level, like
Yeah.
Google is software company. Google is like informational technology company. And when you understand the technical level on which search engines operate and which mechanisms and different IT principles are applied there, that already gives you a solid curve and a solid kind of approach. Because SEO cannot be seen and analyzed through the lens of keywords or rankings or anything like that, because that's on a surface level. When you go deeper and deeper, you will find, like, of course, you will find how much you don't know and how much is there to learn and to actually get familiar with. But technical principles and also understanding the semantics, how Google process the words, the text, the codes, everything. So when you get that understanding on a deeper level, then you won't be you won't be terrified when something with algorithm happens, because you know how algorithm at its core operates and what are search engines at its core, because they are information retrieval system. So you type something in, they retrieve something back. When you know, and there's like a whole like theory behind this, and I'm a big believer that of course, like everything is practical and everything is tied to the business results, but you also need to have a solid theoretical foundation in order to actually properly execute and do things. So definitely being more educated in terms of technical perspective, in terms of IT perspective, that helps a lot. And then of course you have that. The second thing is the marketing knowledge, user experience knowledge, to understand how users interact with Google and what users want to see, what they don't want to see, what they found helpful, what they don't. And then on top of that, consulting skills and skills to interact with people, to learn from that. So those three segments, like, I try to keep consistent with, and I think that will make you understand at the
Yeah.
core every change. Because as I said, Albion is grounded with idea that currently search engines are the main places where people express demand in form of questions, products, etc.
Yeah.
But maybe that won't be the case in 10 years. With not Chat, I won't say ChatGPT, but with AI. Let's use word AI, although it's like so
Yeah.
buzzword and
Like,
etc.
sorry for
With AI,
interrupting you, but I just want to slip one question because you're going into that direction. So, what trends or innovations do you see shaping the future of SEO in the next few years? You mentioned 10 years, but I think that's a long
right,
term. But let's say in a couple of years in the future.
in a couple of years,
Yeah.
so we already had uh, we already had a sneak peek into what search is going to look like when it comes to AI overviews and being able to rapidly test and scale the research on that scale of keywords. So all of that gave us a perspective on where the search is going. First of all, people that look for information will find information on Google. That's it. What I mean by that is that all top of the funnel keywords, terms, web pages, they won't receive traffic as they did previously, because Google will show answers and everything within the AI overview snapshot. That's it. Because you as a user, you don't want to find website, you want to find the answer to your question.
Yeah.
So
Right.
traffic will decrease, or the total amount of traffic that Google is referring people to other websites will decrease over time. But the quality of that traffic will probably increase, because people that are actually interested to find more will actually click on the links and on the
Mm-hmm.
everything that's populated within the AI overview. So that's the first thing. The second
Mm-hmm.
thing is that e-commerce and shopping experience will change and is changing. So Google will become marketplace. Google will find more ways how they can list more products, how they can have the full spectrum of what user expect within Google without you have to go to the product pages. And we already witnessed that. We already witnessed that because we work with a lot
Yeah.
of clients where we work with their merchant center accounts. With all of that, Google is becoming much smarter towards predicting demand, towards helping you
Mm-hmm.
organize your stock, your vendors, your supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
And Google will become that really soon. And for
Mm-hmm.
example, when you search for any type of broad keyword, you will see that Google is like a whole category page because you can pick different filters on the
Yeah.
left side. You
Yes.
see already products, you see
Mm-hmm.
images. So we already feel how that will look like. And
Yeah.
then that's it. And then the third thing is SEO strategies and everything they don't need, they must be much more tied toward which target, like user group, user persona the company is targeting.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, SEO strategies needs to be so refined, so aligned with the overall business strategy,
Yeah.
so that it makes sense for the company to actually execute it on.
And do you think that backlinks would have like a good ranking, would be a good ranking signal for these new AI results?
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for the look, what we learned from the March core update and helpful content
Mm-hmm.
updates, all of that is that websites that relied on the off-page authority
Mm-hmm.
remained pretty much same
Mm-hmm.
before and after the
Yeah.
updates. Websites that relied on the content by itself, although that content is the most helpful, with most expertise,
Yeah.
most experience,
Mm-hmm.
they got destroyed and just
Yeah,
like
they got
diminished
hit
in
by
terms
a
of,
Google update.
yeah.
And yeah, and
So
recently
you
you.
see,
Mm-hmm.
you see there like the power of external, because backlinks are external votes. You vote for
Yeah.
my website and that's it. So that's the
Exactly.
biggest
Yeah.
thing of, yeah, so that won't be like we are like those anchor text backlinks, href like that will remain like how whatever people say, because that's the biggest trust signal. Because if my research is linked from Harvard or for any institution, like tell me it's not a
Maybe
signal.
maybe it will be. Maybe it will be.
Yeah, I mean, but you see, like, anyways, like I built a great research, etc. But if it's not like voted for, then it cannot be surpassed higher
Yeah.
on the Google. And then that's obvious. Like analyze any competitive term, you will see which results dominate and how they
Yeah.
got there. So somebody that tells me that backlinks are not important, blah, blah,
Yeah.
that's not the case.
Yeah.
But the only case, as I said, where that may be the case is the top of the funnel answers, where
Mm-hmm.
Google, now with AI overviews, Google picks maybe lightweight websites, maybe
Mm-hmm.
websites with of course like topical authority, with
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in-depth like involvement in certain topic and in certain cluster. So that's of course important, but on that side, for informational side,
Mm-hmm.
for competitive terms and for money keywords, no,
Yeah.
backlinks are definitely important.
Okay, man. Thanks. Also, yeah, and I wanted to ask you another question. I have two more. Let's do this one first. Recently, we got a leak from Google about the
Mhm.
12,000 ranking factors. So, like, what's your opinion about that? Did you learn something new, or that was something that you already knew but just confirmed it now?
Mm, so that whatever people say, that's the biggest thing that happened in the SEO industry
Mm-hmm.
for the last 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
because we haven't seen more direct
Yeah.
points before. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing to see. And again, it doesn't matter if it's still reliable, if it's still applicable to the current algorithm, because of course they update that. Of
Mm-hmm.
course that they like they have like how many thousands of engineers working on the Google's algorithm
Mm-hmm.
that's being updated regularly. But the depth and the level of knowledge that the person can acquire through those documentation, especially those with refined descriptions and conclusions and actionable steps, that's the,
Mm-hmm.
I won't say the biggest
Yeah.
learning, but that's like really, really, really important thing.
Yeah.
And me and also like the whole team, we are spending every week trying to see what can we implement more, how we can understand more
Mm-hmm.
search engines, like in Google as the most dominant search
Mm-hmm.
engine, and of course that helped a lot. However, I won't say it's not a conspiracy theory, but
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, like
if you
Google has been always been suspicious. Like they just leak something that's not right, you know, because they don't want to reveal how their algorithm is working, you know.
exactly. So when you see the whole mess that was a consequence of AI overviews that being launched on May
Yeah.
10th, etc., etc.,
Mm.
and the bad PR that Google as a company received, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have this where everyone in the industry talk about this. So now everyone
Yeah.
like I can see like okay, I still see some posts about SG AI overs, how bad they are, how good they are,
Yeah.
etc. But I see 90% of cases these. So is it intentional?
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
think
But
they increased their brand awareness. Like Google was all over the place.
right, right.
Definitely. If
So
that was their
maybe like
strategy, it's a good one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Michael, the last question for you would be like, let's say you have a company that wants to invest in SEO, they have a pretty decent budget. What advice would you give them to help them choose the right agency to do it?
Definitely examine the level of detail before you make any agreement or anything that's happening pre-purchase. Examine that and see how different companies are involved to help you understand the potential you have and you as a company to achieve certain things in the market. I will say that because when you look at our proposals, when you look at everything that we do prior to someone become our client, like you will see, they receive like $10,000 worth of consulting and analysis and everything. And I mean, we are here to provide value, of course, and
Yeah.
to help them understand that as well. So that's the first sign. That's the first good sign. And then the second thing is just talk about the way how strategic that will be if if the company only talks about their common terms, in our case traffic, keyword rankings, link building, this and that, or they talk about something that you care about: user experience, market share, revenue, annual increase, monthly recurring revenue, assets, etc., etc. Then you can examine which one do you see. And by the way, not every company want to have like strategy or like a big plan. They just want to have somebody that can execute, and that's completely okay. And overall, we are not working with those type of clients because we just want to be focused on those that we can help the most and someone that we believe in, but the case is vice versa. Like they also believe in our strategy and our approach. That's the thing. And then the third thing is, of course, the regarding the how comfortable they are when they talk and how professional they are when they talk about results, when they talk about what's possible, what's not. Because guarantees and not even mentioning results, like both of those cases are, I won't say red flags, but it's just like you will tell that something is not off. But when you hear from the agency like how it is actually like the mechanics of the results and what's possible, what's not, both in theory and practice, then you will see that you have a reliable partner that you can trust on. Because if companies don't trust me that I have the best interest for them, then that won't be a good collaboration. And you know
Yeah.
that when the client is kind of hesitant, don't want
Yeah.
to interact too much, like you see the pain in that collaboration and the tremendous impact that that can have. So like those three things are probably the biggest things that companies that seek SEO help, SEO strategic assistance should examine.
Well, man, like you left me speechless there with the interview and all the questions. I mean, these were all the questions I had so far. So I just want to thank you for being here for this conversation. I don't know, like if it's because I understand what you're saying here, but you just made me feel much deeper level of your words. Like feel some emotions behind them. Like I really love the mindset. I think you're a very smart person. There is like a whole bright future for you and all the people that believe in you and are in your company are all around you. I mean, not only in the business, and that I think that those people are very happy to have you around and to spend time with you. So, man, like you left me speechless
Thank
for
you,
real.
thank you for those words. But that's the case also vice versa. I'm also how like really grateful
Yeah, I
to
can see
have
that. I can
like
see that.
to have to speak with you, to work with you, to work with other partners, to work with other people that want to believe is something in vision and I mean that's the and the end of the day. I mean, we cannot forget that everything is kind of and again, it's not like cliche, but everything is journey, and if you don't make your day to day
Yeah.
exciting, good, and that you striving towards something, then you will feel drained and you won't get any satisfaction
Yeah.
from what you do on a day-to-day basis. And our job and our like work is an important part in our life. Of course, it's not our life at all, but it is important part.
Yeah, it
So
is.
everything like at the end of the day, it's not what you do, it's how well do you do it. So
Yeah,
it's everything
exactly.
about mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
And
like
my last
that.
thing is my last thing is that we started the company literally with a comprehensive research and development study with like a lot of insights, with a lot of that. And what I can say to the audience that's listening to this is that we are preparing a lot more coming in, and we want to become a research institute and to become like the company that sets certain standards in terms of methodologies and in terms of how how thoughtful we approach things and how systematic we want to do this. So a lot of free value and a lot of things people can expect in the future from our end. We are working on such an amazing project that not only companies but also like colleagues, like everyone that's involved will benefit from. And I can't wait to show that public
Yeah.
and to kind of just to continue that trend, because as you said, like that, like our announcement for the research that went viral,
Yeah.
a lot of smart, important and curious people reached out, got in contact. We made so many great connections, etc. So that's the best thing about the something like some quality things. When you build quality things, like that's the outcome of that.
Man, congratulations. I mean, thank you for sharing all the knowledge, the valuable insights with us and the listeners, and all you guys who are listening. I hope you really enjoyed hearing what Mihailo had to say, and like his journey is an impressive one. And yeah, I mean, yeah, man. I'm
Thank you.
speechless, man.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think this was one of the best experiences I had, like in this podcast so far. I mean, I really love the story. You had a lot of useful information. I absorbed everything, and I do think that all the other people will also absorb it like this. You're very positive, man, and just never keep that spirit goes down. Just keep it going, man. And wild things are there for you. Thanks
Thank
again.
you. Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show. And I cannot wait your podcast become one of the most influential one in this
Yeah.
industry. So
Did you hear
it will
him,
be.
guys? Please subscribe, follow us on social media. I'll put Mihailo's LinkedIn in description so you can follow him as well. And yeah, that's it, man. Yeah. P.S. Man, if you really want that link from Harvard, shoot me an email. I'll get it for you.
Okay. Okay. We'll do. We'll do. We'll
Okay.
do.
Okay. Have a nice day, man.
You too. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye.